Hello fellow leggers, it's great to have you with us once again.
Yes, young and old, new and maybe a more established one of our legger community. Welcome, it's great to see you.
And we are at the Southwark Playhouse, right there, brightly illuminated this evening.
To see the play Goodnight Mister Tom.
So stay tuned to find out how many legs.
Whether it's break a leg
or leg it.
We've got a favour to ask you, so just so we know you're there, pop down and hit the like button if you like what we do. Hit subscribe, that way you'll be up to date with all the latest goings on in Theatreland, up and down the country and right here in London itself.
Done that. Okay, let's move on. So this evening we are seeing Goodnight Mister Tom.
Yes, which is a stage adaptation by David Wood of the uplifting and beloved novel by Michelle Magorian. Now this particular adaptation was in the West End in 2013 and won the Olivier Award for Best Entertainment in that year.
Okay.
This particular production is being directed by Jo Kirkland. Now do you know anything about Goodnight Mister Tom?
I know the name. Isn't there another one similar? So Goodbye Mr. Chips. I need to make sure I don't get it confused.
Don't
Mr.
get
Chips.
confused. I
no,
think they're very
I've heard it, but I don't know anything about it.
Well, it's set in the build-up to World War II, and it's the tale of William, who is evacuated to the English countryside and builds a remarkable friendship with an elderly recluse called Tom Oakley. Now, all is going well until William is summoned by his mother back to war-torn London.
Okay.
There have been other adaptations. There was a TV movie in 1998 starring John Thor in the role of Tom, and to be honest with you, it never really appealed. It looked like a story that wasn't. I've not seen it
either.
and I've never read the book, so I don't really know it. It just wasn't something that appealed, but you know, this has got award nominations, this adaptation, and wins, and also it's being staged by the students of the British Theatre Academy. Now, the British Theatre Academy provides performance and professional training opportunities for young people under the age of 25 for free.
For free?
Regardless of socio-economic background, they get to train alongside professionals and perform in lovely spaces like the Southwark Playhouse.
Yeah, it's really exciting. The Southwark Playhouse has given themselves the summer season to this youth company, so that's really exciting stuff.
With this play, and also later in the month of August, Bring It On the musical.
Brilliant.
Which is a bit of a coup, isn't it?
Exciting stuff. Anything else we need to know?
Runtime 2 hours and 20 minutes, including an interval. So we'll be catching up with you there to let you know about a 30-second interval breakdown.
And stick around to the end to find out how many legs. We've come to the interval, which means it is time for the Break-a-Leggers 30-second interval breakdown. Go! What do you think so far?
Starting with me then. I love the story. It's beautifully simple. It's touching. It just has these pangs of humanity, which I think are absolutely lovely. Some of the performances are brilliant. Yeah, I'm having a good time. What about you?
Yeah, these little people can act. There's some really good performances in there, some real good characters. The way it's being done as well, they're really putting the actors through their paces.
We've finished our experience being thrust into wartime London and the countryside
with a cast of children,
mainly
children. Is it young adult? Mainly children. Is it under a certain age?
Under 25.
And so I think there are a couple of older ones in there, but very few.
Yeah, very few. And to be honest with you, it's a story about children being told by children, which fits really well. What did you think?
Am I going first? Okay. It's tricky not to be biased because it's children. So to try and remain objective is quite difficult. So I was trying to bear in mind, judge this by legger standards as we go through.
Integrity is everything.
Yeah, however, that was made really easy because they are really talented, extremely talented individuals being asked of a lot by a director who's clearly very creative, understands pieces as a whole, and even the scene changes are made interesting, having a company, almost an ensemble behind that amplify what's going on stage. Like every single character switched on. A lot was asked them, they delivered.
Yes.
So as a result, I thought it was really good, even by Lego standards.
And that's it. Even those smaller pieces, were directed in a way that meant something. You could clearly see that these actors, young actors, even though they had which could be a very insignificant part, were given a character and a story to tell and a purpose, which I've seen, really big professional adult companies fall down on. Quite easily.
There are adult professional companies I haven't seen as committed to this. Every character was switched on in every moment, and kind of like having little looks between each other about what was going on, just present in the moment. When do people lose that? When do actors sometimes lose that? Obviously not all actors, but like I said, I've seen that. I've seen that happen. Every single one of that company, I don't want to say kids anymore because I think they are a company, were present and delivered.
And that's the point. These are young people that want to make this their life. They want to make a living of this, and they show that dedication from such an early age that, that's something to be admired. It's inspiring and it's beautiful to see. It's beautiful to be present with them in that moment.
And you talked about Stars of Tomorrow.
Yeah,
I could definitely see that. I think some of these people are going to go on to some to have a very fruitful career.
It almost feels a bit unfair to name any specific actor within this company, but I'm going to do that anyway. I would say that James Sampson, who played the role of Tom, considering he is playing an elderly man. Like, he is playing a man in his 60 years plus, and this kid can't be more than 15, maybe. But his embodiment and his characterization, which was consistent throughout, was an absolute joy. And never for a moment did he drop or lose that. And I think it would be easy to do when you are at the opposite end of the spectrum to the character that you are playing, to forget for a moment who you are. And he didn't.
No, he didn't. He had the right tempo, he had the right movement, lovely accent, consistent throughout from start to finish. He has quite a deep backstory as well, and that was layered within the character. I really liked him.
On the opposite end of the spectrum, a child playing a child, the role of William tonight, we had Evan Huntley Robertson, and you know what?
What a face!
His face filled me with joy.
What a face! He's if anyone's looking at doing like a modern Oliver or some kind of where you need that, just that face, he has that face, and he's very talented as well.
You could tell that he understood his character, he understood the direction that he had been given, and almost he ran with it as well. Like, he made it his own. And I mean, the kid is a young kid. I mean, he's 7, 8, 9 maybe, but bloody hell, big props to him. Amazing.
Nice comic relief. Was it in Zachary?
Yeah, Felix Hepburn playing the role of Zach.
A little ball of energy. He was.
Just a couple of times, and I thought, just pull back a bit. But on the whole, he was absolute he's almost the opposite. He's almost the ruse to William's, the character of William's sort of naivety and inability to have fun. Zach is on the other end.
Yeah, I thought the character was great, and I thought the way that Felix did it, he owned it, amplified it, did everything that was asked. He'd been copying his parents in the show who are actors, and he embodied that full commitment of almost a young Shakespearean actor. I
was also a big fan of there were two sisters who were clearly sisters that played sisters in this.
No way. I was thinking exactly the same thing. We haven't picked this up. both of them, the older one as well.
The older one in
fantastic.
particular. Carrie was her name, played by Valentina Savesi.
And what a name! Say that name again.
Valentina Savesi.
Now that's a great stage name if ever.
It?
That's a star name if ever heard one.
And she it's not a huge character, but she owned that stage. Every single moment that she was on that stage, I was drawn to her.
Now she looked really familiar as well, as if she's already made it. And I was like, oh, I don't know if she's done anything before, but she looked familiar.
Her and her sister Elena were amazing.
Yeah, they were really good. But I'd say the whole company was very good and very committed.
Just very quickly, I want to touch on two more names. Yeah. Bradley Riches playing the role of the dog, Sammy.
Lovely puppetry work.
Yeah, which is a skill into itself, so well done there. And also the mother character.
Oh yeah, very dark part.
Very
perfectly,
dark
really well cast, because she really owned that. There was an intensity in her eyes and her face, a loving yet also something underneath that was disturbed. That she played really well.
Mrs. Beech, played by Ali Alott.
Yeah, she did really well.
Sinister.
A very hard part.
It is a very hard part. Sinister,
such a young performer.
But you know, the menace is very underplayed and is threatening in itself by the fact that it is underplayed.
Yeah, because I think the risk could be to overplay it, to almost play it over the top like a witch and an evil character, but it wasn't. It was just there with the intent. The intent of what could happen was there. Really nicely played. The
story, as we've mentioned, is actually really dark. I mean, considering this is a children's book, this is a young person's
didn't know it either.
And it touches on some really adult and really disturbing themes.
Child neglect, child abuse, mental health,
death, you know, just the mental torture of children and religious pressure, and there's themes in this that you would be disturbed and sort of haunted by, explored in an adult piece. But in a kid's piece, I mean, it's almost nightmarish, to be honest.
It is. There was a lovely nightmare sequence as well, actually. Like as a younger company, this must be a great piece to do as well. There's some fruity language in there. Too often are, you know, young companies given a Joseph to do. Let's do Joseph. That would be a nice piece to do, or even a thoroughly modern.
But life isn't always ha he.
This is what you want to do. This is something meaty. There was, in fact, a little 6-year-old. She was very young. Sat in front of me at the end. She came away going, "I loved that," and I've not seen anyone walk away from Joseph saying that young. I've got to say.
Really?
So, you know, deliver.
Not a Joseph fan then.
Give people the opportunity to develop with something meaty.
Yeah.
Don't scrimp and scrape people. If you work with young people, you know, educate them and give them something like this.
And show them life. Absolutely. Show them life. So, I think we need to round it up.
Yeah.
Goodnight Mister Tom, playing here at the Southwark Playhouse. The Breaker-Leggers are going to give 5.
I couldn't find anything wrong with it.
Yeah.
Really? Like I said, I was trying to make sure. You know, am I being too nice? No, I couldn't find anything wrong with it. The piece is good.
Yeah,
the talent is good. The way it was directed and the flow of it was great. The use of the ensemble, it was just well done. I would love to see professional companies I've seen fall very much shorter.
I would say that, you know, we've come to see this with a totally open mind, as we don't know the story. If you do know the story, I think you would get a lot from seeing this production with this company, and it's this company that make it very special, because, you know, the British Theatre Academy that inspire these young people to take on a profession which, you know, keeps us entertained, you know, is something that should be supported. And if you get the chance to come along to Southwark Playhouse, either for this or for Bring It On, see them in action. They are the stars of tomorrow today. You're not going to go far wrong. But you know what? That's just what we think.
Just what we think.
Yeah, what did you think? Why not? Let us know in the comments below if you've seen this or any other pieces that have inspired you, perhaps with a young cast. We'd love to hear from you. We're the Breaker-Leggers.
And we'll catch you again soon. Bye!